Go.
Bam, and we back with another one, man. Hey, apologies. We missed a couple weeks. My boy got sick. We weren't
I was
able to link
down.
up. Yeah, we weren't able to link up for the last game and get it to you guys. But hey, we're back from the Beta LA 49er podcast. Like, comment, subscribe, join the ride. We're gonna hop
Yes,
into
sir.
this one, man. Shit, you know how we do it. It's been a little minute, but I ain't forgot. You know the routines. So let's go ahead and cheers to the show.
Cheers.
All right.
Had the wrong banner up on there,
I
man.
saw. I did see
Tripping.
that. I did see that.
I
But
was-
it's all good. Hey, we'll get to that. We'll definitely hit that. Starting off, you know how we do it. Brief synopsis of the game recap. Let's go ahead and give you that. Jimmy Garoppolo playing pretty solid.
yeah.
29 to 41. He threw for 296 yards, averaged 10 yards attempt, threw two TDs, both to Brandon Ayuk. He did throw two interceptions. The first one right before the half, not even gonna knock him for that one.
Nah.
I can live with it.
Yeah.
Running backs did nothing. We were down pretty much the whole game. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
Kittle, 83 yards receiving. That's a good thing. He's been MIA for a while. Brandon Ayuk, 83 yards receiving, two TDs, as I stated. Debo, 79 yards receiving. It's good to see these guys are starting to get it going a little bit.
Yeah.
Something that we're going to hit later for sure with
Yeah.
this 49er offense. But let's go ahead and dig into the stats. Time of possession, 26 minutes to 33 minutes for the Falcons. We're kind of dominated on time of possession. Total yards. Now, people, this is the third time, it's the third loss that the Niners have more total yards than the team that beats us. This is a reoccurring theme for every 49er loss of this season. We lose the game, yet we have more total yards.
I
But
mean,
the reason why we lose those games, normally it's penalties. And if it's not penalties, it's the turnovers. In the turnovers, three turnovers for the 49ers, zero for the Atlanta Falcons. We only had two sacks.
I mean, to the Niners defense, the defense is down, man. They're down bad. I mean,
Down bad.
we
Defense
were
is in
down to
shambles.
our second stringers. I mean, so and for that being said, bro, I think they held up pretty good. I mean, despite the avalanche of injuries, you know what I'm saying?
I
So
feel like they did what they could. They did
yeah,
what they could. We're out a lot of starters. We lost even more during the game. But yeah, the last stat, 57 plays to 56 plays, very close in that breakdown. Let's go ahead and dig into it a little bit, man. The Falcons came out hot. They smacked us around early. We shot ourselves in the leg. We had a good drive going. We get down there, we fumble the ball. They return that for a touchdown. We're looking at a 14-0 hole. We start to climb out of that hole. We come all the way back. We tie the game 14-14. And I even heard Kyle say this, and there was one really big play at the end of that second quarter that cost us when it was a 3rd and 11. And we had a chance to get them off the field with like a minute and something left to get the ball back to try to score, and take the lead before the half. And Mariota hit us with his legs, bro. We saw in week 1 what Fields did to us and hitting us with the legs. I don't know, man. You talk about it a lot too, about running quarterbacks and how they do us and how the Niners don't do well with running quarterbacks.
I mean, I don't like. Look, I think our defense is elite, number one defense in the NFL when healthy, which we're not. And I don't want to dog them too much, but it just seems like that's the one area they never ever improve on. And
Right.
I mean, it's like what I mean, year after year. And mind you, yeah, we got D'Amico Ryan's first year, so
Oh,
can't
second
really hold
year.
them against you. Well, yeah, second year, my
Second
bad.
year. Yeah.
So but even then, it's just kind of like when are we gonna do right? I mean, Kyle's still the head coach. I mean, he's still the leader of this team in year 6, and D'Amico Ryan's has been around, so it's not like he's essentially brand new, right? He's just taking
Yeah.
over the reins of
No,
Robert
he
Sala.
hey, he's well aware of the struggles that we've had against running quarterbacks too. So
Yeah, and I mean, look, man, I I don't understand like the fact that every week, every time we lose, it's always like this one play did it and that beat us, right? And then I tune into the Chiefs Bills game, and those guys do not have that issue. That those teams don't have that issue where one play messed them up and it just collapses from there. It's not the case. And yeah, you could say they have better quarterbacks. Of course they do.
Mm-hmm.
But I
Yeah,
mean, Jimmy has an arm. Jimmy's a starting quarterback. You know what I'm saying? So schematically, I'm just kind of starting to doubt Kyle, man, because it's just kind of like, what's really going on here? Like every
yeah,
you know, what I'm saying, the Bills, the Chiefs don't have that excuse of like that one play, it did it to us. Get that's why we lost. And it's kind of like, I mean, you're the offensive genius,
right, right, right. You
and
should you should be able to overcome a lot of this bullshit with your wizardry that they say you have. You're this genius. You should be able to overcome a lot of
every
these.
week it's one specific play that destroyed us, and it's kind of like, well, there's 4 quarters. There's not one quarter, and
Right.
it's not like a first score touchdown wins game. So uh, I don't understand it, man. I'm tired of the this play did it or the two missed
Right.
plays
Right.
ended the game for us. It's like it's a 4 quarter game.
We never got back into the game, and we never had a sure shot. We never had a chance of making the game close again. So I kind of feel them on that aspect of saying it. But like we talked about, man, and you can dig a little deeper, it's what the numbers are really telling us analytically. The Niners don't do that great on third down. We got to do better on third downs. We got to keep drives going, bro. Um, the defensive stats, like we know the defense does what it does, but we're injured, so the defense kind of gets a pass. But offensively, it's hard to knock them because finally, for the first time, I've seen Debo, Kittle, and Ayuk all have over 75 receiving yards in one game. And these are Yak Bros. They're supposed to do that every game. They should have close to 100, all three of them every game. So you're right. I think Kyle's got to kind of take more of a fault and a blame in what's going on here, bro. It's
I mean, look, I see it like this. Like it's year 6, and it almost to a T. You kind of know what calls Kyle's has down scripted calls,
yeah,
and you see ones that you're like kind of second guessing. You're like, was that like a Jimmy kind of erratic move, and
yeah,
move to a different progression, and hit the guy that wasn't in schematically targeted in that play.
yeah.
Because like you said, the ball towards the end started getting spread out a little bit more. Mind you, obviously when we were down 2 scores, bro, when they were passing the kid on garbage time, I mean, those don't count, right? Because and then the 8-minute drill to
That was that was terrible. And you got no points out of it. You burnt that whole quarter, the whole end of that quarter, you burnt it up and you got nothing out of it. That was terrible. That was one of the worst drives of the game. That was
and his logic was that they were going to get the ball back twice. That was his logic.
That's what he was expecting. I think he was expecting to score quicker. You know what I mean? I don't think he was expecting for the drive to get drug out like that. But man, that goes into what I've been saying about Kyle's wizardry. Dude, we're a running football team, and I get we were down 2 scores, but you still have to run the ball some. For some of what we do to work off of play action, to for some of these things that breads our butter as a team, you have to run the ball for some of these things to work.
Yeah.
It's not going to work if you're not running the rock, and we weren't able to run the rock. So I get why it looked like we couldn't move the ball and score when we needed to move the ball and score.
I mean, but he carries the name of offensive genius. Like this is it's not like we're saying he's one of the top offensive callers. We're calling this man a
A
genius.
genius.
And it
Yeah,
took him 8 minutes to drive to Atlanta's 30. And
yeah,
then I mean,
yeah.
and it was very casual. They were huddling. I mean, it was very slow pace. Like you look at Mahomes and Josh Allen, 30 seconds on the clock, you get scared of the opposing team because you're like, that's too much time.
Right.
And then you look at the Niners, you're like, 8 minutes, that's not enough time.
Yeah, you know what? And we've been known to do this for the past few years. we put together those long, 20 play drives to score. We've done that a lot, but those are in games that are closer games or we're winning the game and we're just milking the clock. That is unacceptable in a game like this where you're down 2 TDs. Granted, we did see us take shots. Jimmy, deep balls. He had some great shots that he took in this game. These balls were dropped.
But I mean, why are you targeting Ray McLeod and Warner on key plays, acting like we don't have weapons? Like George Kittle's not out there,
right?
Or like Ayuk is not out there,
yeah.
Or Danny Gray. I mean, he's inactive. Like you can't make him active during the game, and you know what I'm saying. Obviously, I mean before the game, not during the game, but
yeah.
You know, things like that, bro, just don't make any sense. Like you get these guys that are role players in key moments in a game that you're down 2 scores, and these are the guys you target.
Yeah, you know what I'm gonna have to say, and you actually kind of been saying this for a while now as well. The reason why the offense isn't working is because of Kyle Shanahan. I joked about it in our last show that we got up and we posted about how he got done like Bobby Boucher's coach read by you when he took the book with him. And it's looking more and more like Mike McDaniel just took that playbook with him and said, hey, you ain't gonna need this no more. I need this book.
I mean, he ain't doing that great in Miami either.
So he was up until the quarterback got hurt.
Yeah. But I mean,
we're known for having vanilla days. So I can't knock him if he took the book. He's gonna have vanilla days too. But bro, where's the reverses? Where is the the quarterback kicks it to the running back runs around and he throws it back? Where is the trick plays? Where is the
thing is, from obviously we hear all the time from the media and stuff, and clearly most of the stuff is true. Kyle is a scripted coach, bro. Like he doesn't go, like he won't deviate from analytics and whatever script he has.
Right.
So if analytically, numbers wise, beep boop, correct is first thing, throwing first down, then he'll do it, right? He's not a guy that like feels the game out. It's all analytical, and when it doesn't. Like I've been hearing a lot of content creators saying it, and it's true, bro. A lot of YouTube Niner fans saying once it's like everything has to be perfect in order for it to work, and if it doesn't, then that's the excuse. Like we just didn't run with the program. It's kind of like, bro, you're the offensive genius in year 6, and that's still the excuse.
And it can't be, because if you're an offensive genius and you're in year 6. You have a plethora of plays in your catalog that work, that we've seen work. You should have a whole list of all of these are good plays. I scrapped these plays because these plays don't work. You should have a whole book full of plays that will work in year 6. I don't know, bro.
Or trust your core. I mean, what choice do you have, right? Trust Jimmy. I mean, you don't have any other choice at this point.
Well, what's always said? It's always said that you don't put the game in Jimmy Garoppolo's hands to win or lose a game. You run the offense. You stay the course. You run the football. And, bro, if you think about it, they were up 2 TDs. What? That was the third quarter when they were up 2 TDs, correct?
Yeah.
So that means you have a whole nother quarter in what's left of that third quarter to get back to doing what we know work. Run the ball. Open this shit up. You know what I mean? Let your book work for you instead of trying to find things that are going to work. I don't know, man. I don't know, bro. It was disappointing again to see us look that vanilla on offense and not score points. Atlanta don't have this world-beating defense.
No,
they don't have a defense in the top 10. This is not a defense that you struggle to put up points against.
That's what was the sad part. I was kind of mind boggled, bro. Like I'm like, how are we not moving on this defense? It's not even a top 10, top 15 defense.
It's not a top defense. It's not a defense that you should struggle.
And they were down to their second string corners.
And
we still couldn't score on them.
That's Worrying. That's troublesome.
And I'm supposed to believe that we're gonna beat the Chiefs on Sunday?
Now,
Come on,
hey,
man.
well, we can get into that a little more later. And I told you guys, I've told you going into that Rams game is something about the 49ers when their backs are to the wall and we need to get a dub. It's like Kyle has a completely different book that he waits to pull out when his back is to the wall and we need a win. Because then that's when I see all the hots come out, bro. All the hot plays that we need to run and need to do, those shits come out when our backs are to the wall. So I'm not going all the way knock us or say we can't win that game, but I'm not taking us to win the game either.
Sorry, man. The background, I guess my daughter must have fallen, so
Oh, it's all good.
she's all crying.
I
Um,
barely could hear
all right.
it.
So I mean, with that being said, we still, still leads into this. Like, obviously, Kyle and the look at for us to believe that the offense is gonna magically evolve by Sunday, and we're
Right,
gonna put up crazy numbers on the Chiefs. I mean, it's ridiculous, right? So let's say we get Mooney Ward back, right? Because groin injury. Let's say we get Trent Williams that said is going to possibly be back.
right.
Well, who do you put on the other side, opposite of Mooney Ward? Womack got tore apart, and look at we were on it. We were on his team, bro. We were like, oh, this guy's he's a ball hawk, and he's the next one. How could Lenore beat him in practice? Like, it doesn't make sense. How do you lose your job in practice? Well, I
Right,
mean,
right.
we saw it. We saw it yesterday. Why he lost his job? 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's not a lot I can say about it because I was one of the main people hyping him. I took him to be the breakout defensive player from the rookie class, and maybe the guy
Same
wasn't
here.
ready. Maybe it was just right place, right time in the
Or, or,
preseason
or
when he was
maybe
looking
also,
good.
what do you call it? He got his confidence shot down by being benched.
And it could be that too. That's a big part of it, man. Anytime you take the reins from a player that did nothing to lose the job, might play on his psyche. I also heard some things that I told you before about
Oh yeah,
they were getting down on him because of his locker room antics. He's constantly on the phone. He's not in tune to what's going on around, FaceTime in with his girlfriend. Even when he's not on a call, his head is down and he's in his phone 24/7. And maybe that had played a factor into him losing the job.
I
I
mean,
don't know for sure. I'm not in the locker room, but
yeah.
I did hear that.
If that's all true, I mean, in any job you'll get you
You
get
know what I mean?
disciplined
You
for
just
doing that
can't be
stuff.
on your phone 24/7. But
Exactly. I
to,
mean,
to, to to
no, go
answer
ahead.
your question, can this defense hold up? The defense will only hold up and take us as far as the starters being on the field can take us. There's no defense in the league that can hold up when you're not using the 11 starters that you should be using.
Right.
When you're down as many starters on defense as we're down. Now, remember, our whole D line, the starters, the entirety of our starting D line
It's gone.
was out
Yeah.
in this game. Ebicom got hurt. Bosa did not play. Kinlaw has been out. Armstead has been out. Now those two middle slots we've been able to substitute with sliding Drake Jackson inside and other players inside that we've been kind of getting away with it. But I mean, injured defense is an injured defense. Mosley out for the season. Jimmy Ward didn't play. It's you know what I mean. This defense is hurt, bro, and they can't carry us. That they won't take us far being banged up like this. It just won't happen.
It's the season started when Jimmy came in. Look, from the beginning, it had 2020 vibes. And
That's not.
then Jimmy, we're like, all right, Jimmy's a stolen team, still a chance. And I got you and me, well, me mainly got 17 vibes, like, oh, 17 Jimmy's back.
I was
Terrible
running
game.
with it. Hey, I was running with it too, though. I was running with it too.
Terrible game. And
Yeah,
then he has 2 solid games, but the whole damn defense is out. I mean, granted, in 2020, we lost guys for the year.
for the year.
But, I mean, we lose Mosley for the year.
Yeah.
Jason Verrett, for anybody that thinks that Jason Verrett is going to be able to play this year, bro, is tripping. He's not
Well,
playing this year. Have you seen the videos of him on the practice field?
No, but what I did hear about it was they brought him in last week on Wednesday. They let him run. He only ran a couple sprints and he felt soreness or something happened, and they
Yep.
shut him down and said, we'll give him next week on Wednesday to go. I believe the same thing happened this week leading up to the game. He tried to practice or whatever, and he's just not going to be ready. He
Yeah,
won't.
and Kyle today said that. I mean, it's not looking like anytime soon. And I mean, look, if his knee's not right now, bro, you swear they're gonna put him in after the bye or any. The earliest he could come in and play would be playoffs if we make the playoffs.
No, you know what? The only bright side of this whole situation is our whole division's not doing well. And let's call it for what it is. Everybody's not looking great.
But we've
I
lost in the
believe.
conference that could, end up paying not dividends, like
Well,
negatively in the end.
right, right. But as long as we're taking care of all the division foes, like right now we're 2-0 in the
Yeah,
division, that will always help us push to be in the playoffs. Will we do anything? Will we be healthy come playoff time? It's a lot of questions that have yet to be answered, and it's a long season, man. We'll see what's going on. But to answer the question that's on the screen, I don't believe this defense will hold up or be able to hold up for very long if we don't get these guys back and injuries stop happening. We need the
yeah,
injuries to stop. We got to get healthy and get back to playing that Niner football, that Niner defense, bro. If we don't do that, it's going to be a long one, guys. It's going to be a long one.
in order for the defense to recover, the offense has to be putting up points on the board, man, and holding the ball longer, or else we're gonna wear out our defense, bro. Being on the field all the time. I mean, there's
That's going to make more injuries occur. That's going to
exactly.
hold us back even more. The defense staying on the field is not good for your defense.
No, not at all, not at
Not
all.
at all. Not at
So I
all.
mean, leading with that, man. When will these Kyle excuses? Uh, I guess when will they catch up to him, bro? And when are we gonna say, all right, man, it's year 6 and it's the same thing, right? Every time we lose is the guys weren't in sync. Two or three plays threw us off. You know what I'm saying? We got to do better next time. I'll review the tape and clean up those mistakes.
If you're asking me, I'm
Yeah,
gonna say the excuses are gonna catch up to him now, or depending on who you ask. There's some people out there that are still gonna give Kyle the benefit of the doubt. I'm one of them. I like to try to say, hey, he can make it happen. Our backs are to the wall. Kyle will get us a win. He'll pull this out. He'll pull that out. I love to say that. But if you look at what the people on Twitter are saying, you look at what the other content creators are saying, the excuses have already caught up to Kyle Shanahan. He's up to his neck right now in excuses, and we ain't seeing nothing different from him. So in the question of when will it, they've already caught up to Kyle
yeah,
because
I think so
you,
too.
you look at the stat sheet, you get Jimmy the ball out and throw the most yards that he's thrown in any game this year. He almost had 300 yards passing, yet you have 14 points on the board. Kyle,
That's crazy.
what's going on?
That's
You know what
crazy.
I mean? Like, bro, it to answer the question, it is already caught up to him.
I
The
I
excuses,
I believe you. I 100% agree with you. I mean, you got Grant Cohen, probably the biggest 49er content creator, on his neck on
sure,
Twitter right now, on his
yes,
neck.
sir.
And if you're gonna sit here and tell me that, not you specifically, but other fans that Kyle don't see that, oh, Kyle's very aware that Grant is on his neck right now, and
Oh,
and
100%.
and all he's doing him is just feeding him and feeding him, and all this stuff eventually gets up to the owner, man, because owners care about their fans. Obviously, that's how
Right,
they make money.
right,
If fans are not with it, look at. I understand we've been to the NFC Championship twice, gone to
twice.
Super Bowl once,
Right.
but it's like I don't know. It's like having a toxic girlfriend, bro, that gives you some of the best sex,
Huh.
right? But the relationship is always up and down, up and
Yeah,
down.
yeah,
This is what college, bro. It's always like right. We've been successful under him with him and Jimmy, but it's always a roller coaster, bro. It's never like a pleasant ride. It's never like 2019, right? And I'm not
right,
saying every year is going to be like that,
right.
but I mean, it's This is going to be the second year already where we're already fighting for our football lives in week 6, week 7. I mean, we're losing on Sunday, and I hope I'm wrong, but we're losing on Sunday. We're going to be 3-4 at the bye.
Yeah.
We could get back up to 500 when we play the Rams, and if we beat them, we're back at 500.
Right. Yeah. 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 You know what? And leave it to me to always be that guy that, and dude, I even did it last year, which we didn't do a show. We weren't getting it up to you guys, but I was telling this guy all of last year when it was looking grim and it was looking like we were going to be down and out 3-5.
That's true.
And I'm like, bro, we could turn this shit around still. I'm faithful through and through. I just always am the one to believe that we can still pull this shit out and make it right. And this year for me is no different. I still feel like we can right the ship and we can pull out some wins and string together 3-4 wins and be back to where we need to be. One thing that really plays in our favor, like I just brought up, is our division not being that great. We still got action, brother. We can still turn this shit around and make something happen. But Kyle has got to be the main person that starts the turn of getting this shit right. It all starts with Kyle Shanahan, his game planning, the scripting of plays, the running the football, the not turning the ball. It's so much things, but it all starts with Kyle Shanahan, bro. At the end of the day, it all starts with Kyle.
So 2 questions. I got 2 questions for you.
What's up?
How much longer this can you take of this every year, right? Where we're week 6, we're doing the show, week 6, week 7, we're talking, and we're over here sitting having the same conversation of, can we make the playoffs?
Yeah.
Or I have hope that we can make it. How much more of this can we deal with?
Me personally, I love this shit, man. I could do this shit all year. I could do this shit next year. But not all 49er fans are like me. A lot of them got a lot smaller fuse before they blow up. You know what I mean? So, like I said, the writing's on the wall, and there's a lot of people, homie, that are already calling for his head. They not here. You know what I mean? I'm not going that far either. But me, myself, how much more of this can I take? I love this shit, man. I could this shit right here, it gives me something to text you and talk to you about and talk to other motherfuckers about. For me, personally, I just want us to get it right because I know we can. I've seen us do it. You know what I mean? I believe that we can get this shit right and be the San Francisco 49ers that everybody thought we were going to be this year. The defense is good, when healthy. But the offense, bro, everything that has Kyle's fingerprints on it is the reason why things are not going good. It's Kyle's side of the ball that needs the most work and the most help. You know what I mean? To give you a legitimate answer, if we lose the next 3 games, next 2 games, then I'll probably start to turn and flip a little bit from how I feel right now.
I mean, if we lose the next 3 games, it's a wrap. I mean, it's over.
Depending on what the division is doing, dog. We could be the new NFC East this year.
There's no way. Well, what was it? What did we do last year? We came back from 3-5.
We came back from 3-5. At one point, we made it all the way to, what were you, 9-7 at one point or something like that?
Yeah. So I say, okay, so 3-5, and like you said, depending on how the division is and the conference, then we still might have some hope.
And that's how I feel. But Kyle's the one that's got to get his shit together, brother.
I'm not saying let's fire him, but I'm on the ship of like let's start looking, and let's do it smart.
Maybe do it internally. You know, maybe give it to someone who's been here. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, possibly. I don't know. I don't want to get rid of Kyle. I don't think he's easy to replace. But what was your second question? Because you said you had 2. So what was your other question for me?
Oh, damn, I forgot.
Brother, I was going to say you had 2 for me.
Oh, no. Okay, what I just said. Do you think that we should start looking for somebody else?
I think,
I'm not saying let's rush it. I'm just saying let's look and make sure that we replace Kyle correctly.
I think Jed loves Kyle. I think he loves John. I think he loves everything that we've been doing. It's hard to replace somebody that's taking you to two NFCs and in a Super Bowl. So um, I don't know. I don't think that getting rid of Kyle is going to be what happens because I don't think Jed wants to. He doesn't want to replace Kyle. He doesn't want to replace John. He wants to keep this together until we win it. So I think it's going to be a whole lot of growing pains and a whole lot of heartache for Niner fans. Because I don't see Kyle going anywhere. To be honest, I don't.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, fortunately and unfortunately, I agree with you. I don't think he's going anywhere. I don't think he's
He's
going
going
anywhere.
anywhere.
But
This
this
is the realest of the real right
this
here.
could also be one of his downfalls because while he's been head coach, this turf curse has been around,
You
and
know what?
he's the leader of the group.
He
I mean, he's the
is.
one that hires and fires people
Now, if I'm not mistaken, I believe we've completely scraped our training staff
twice.
twice in the last 3 years because of this shit that's been happening. At this point, bro, and I said it to you about the injuries earlier before we did the show, that it feels like it is a curse because you replace your training staff twice. That means that's three different groups of training staffs that have came in. None of them can find the reasons for these injuries. Like, why do we keep getting hurt on turf? I think this is a bigger issue. And to be real with you, it's not just the 49ers that get injured on turf. It's all across the league. It's across the board. The
Yeah, but
NFL,
we're
the
at the
NFL.
bottom. We're at the bottom of it, bro. I mean, we're
No,
out.
we are the leading team.
Yeah,
We had set the NFL record for most injuries ever in a season in 2020. So we get hurt way more than anybody, but it happens across the board. All teams have more injuries when they play on turf than they play on grass.
of course, yeah.
This is my thing though. This is an NFL issue. This is a league that brings in more money than any other major sports league. If I'm not mistaken, the NFL brought in over $12 billion in revenue last year. You have no reason to still be placing turf fields out for teams to play on. Every team should have grass fields. It's not that much more expensive to have grass fields put in than rolling with turf. These owners are cutting corners and they're still placing turf fields out there, and it's cutting into everybody's bottom line. Everybody's having injuries due to this shit. But when we're talking about just the San Francisco 49ers, there's nothing we can do about having to go and play on the road against a team that plays on turf unless the league themselves start to fix this issue.
I mean, but Kyle is the manager of the group. I mean, he's the one that has to interview, hire, and fire. And it could also be true that he just doesn't do a good job in hiring these training staffs. I mean, that could also be true.
Well, the teams in the league that have the best training staffs keep those training staffs. They don't let them go.
Well, he fired the guy we had when Harbaugh. Yeah, when well, no, who was it? Chip Kelly. Who was the last one? It was Tom, that wasn't Tom Sula. Was it Tom Sula?
No, goddamn, I think it was Chip Kelly
Chip
that
Kelly.
he
But
succeeded. Yeah,
the train that him, the trainer and his training staff had been around for a few years prior to that, and then as soon as Kyle got there, he fired him.
he just
And there
wanted to
was
put his people
and
in.
we were not top injured team.
No, we weren't, but the Niners are known for injuries. It for the last, I want to say, right even before Kyle took over, we've had injuries. Maybe not as bad as the Kyle tenure. Since he's been here, we've been one of the top injured teams every year. Even in 19, we had injuries. Just everything was going so well, we were able to overcome them. Yeah, bro. To be honest with you, this is one of those things where it just kind of feels like a curse. Like me being a Clipper fan and us only getting into the Western Conference Finals one time. Like before that, it just felt like the team was cursed. It didn't matter who we signed. It didn't matter who we had. We had at one point two of the top five players in the league, Blake Griffin and Chris Paul, and we still couldn't do nothing. When
Well,
you're cursed, you're cursed, bro.
hey,
Like
well, to the Clippers thing. I mean, look at Chris Paul, man, he ain't doing shit. Neither is Blake Griffin. So, I mean, in hindsight now, maybe they weren't it. So
Maybe they weren't. Yeah, we've started to turn it around now.
yeah,
We look a
exactly.
lot
So
better. We're in better hands now than we were then. But I don't know, bro. I mean, they still ain't won shit. But to get to this, hey, bro, I believe that there is something going on, homie, with this 49er team and injuries. It's
yeah,
just too many. It's just way
it's
too
weird.
many, bro.
It's weird, and uh, I mean, I just hope it. Look, man, I just want to win a Super Bowl at this point, right?
Me too, brother.
If Kyle could do that, keep him forever, man. Give me one this decade. Give me one this decade.
If Kyle could pull one ring out his ass, he'll be the lifetime coach. They ain't gonna get rid of Kyle till Jed and them sell the team. Kyle will
Oh,
be the coach.
they'll give him plenty of time to do whatever the hell he wants to do.
You see what one Super Bowl appearance got him? It got him a new contract for 5 years when he still had a year left on there. You know what I mean? Kyle's still slated to be our head coach for another 4 years after this season.
Well, I mean, he has to because he has to develop Trey,
That's a fact. If
right?
that
But
ever if
I
that
think
ever fucking happens.
I think honestly, bro, the only way I see the Niners ever progressing or is when Kyle stops micromanaging and being the analytical nerd where numbers dictate his decisions.
I like that. And if I'm not mistaken, that does that bleed into the next segment that we have on the board to come up with?
The final last one, Kittle's
The final
comments, man.
last one. Okay, so yeah, you hit it right on the head, bro. And I think it's starting to take its toll already in the locker room. I think that guys don't want to hear that shit the way Kyle's is preaching it. Kyle preaches it like I'm that guy, I'm him, and y'all follow me, and we'll get there. Don't believe in you,
Yeah,
believe in me,
yeah,
and
exactly.
we'll get there. And you know what? He was able to brainwash these dudes and make them believe, and it worked. Like I said, the 2 NFC championships, the Super Bowl appearance. I think they're getting tired of it, bro.
I think 2019 was the last year that worked because last year, even though we made it to the NFC Championship, bro,
You felt
the
like it was
the
already
series
starting to.
the series of events that followed through the offseason with
Mhm.
Debo, and obviously they're gonna come out in public. Debo's like, I always wanted to be here and da 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 and all this other stuff, right? He's not gonna
Mhm.
come out and be like, I didn't want to be here unless I got the bag, right? Which clearly was true, but I'm just saying, I think dudes are over it, bro. Year 6, you're wasting these guys good years, and these are elite players, bro. These are not all right players, right? You got Debo, you got George Kittle, you got Juice Check, bro. You got Trent
These are some
Williams,
of the best players in the league. Some
you
of the
got
best in
Fred
the league.
Warner, you got Dre Greenlaw, Jimmy Ward. I mean, bro, Eric Armstead. You know what I'm saying? Nick Bosa.
Yeah, for sure. The
And
list goes on. Mooney
bro,
Ward's playing like one of the best corners in the league.
bro, Mooney Ward. There you go. But just on the offensive side, bro, you got Kittle, Juszczyk, Debo,
Debo,
Ayuk, and you're gonna tell me, bro,
Trent
you can't
Williams,
fucking put up more than 14 fucking points on
bro.
on a defense that's not even top anything, like you said.
I knew it was becoming an issue. The whole Kyle thing when it was brought up in Jimmy's presser a few weeks back, and they asked him about what he mumbled under his breath or what was said about these plays fucking suck.
Yeah.
I knew that it was becoming a problem. They're not believing in what he's calling like they used to.
Nah.
Whatever he was calling, whatever brainwashing, whatever he was doing to get everybody to believe in the system, guys are starting to not believe as much as they believed before. And it goes right into what's on the screen in the Kittle's comments about
Effort.
everybody's got to play 110%. You
Yeah.
get down in the game, you can't just because we're losing. And that honestly is what was separating the 49ers from a lot of teams in the league that get down in games. A lot of teams quit. They give up. This team's imposing their will. They're running it down our throat. They're doing this to us. And just the momentum, just everything, just you feel low. You feel low. You know what I mean? And we've always been really good with not letting whatever's happening in the game get us out of the game. And hey, we come back and we just play 49er football and we do it. It's starting to become an issue, brother, for sure. 100%. If Kittle was saying this to the media, if Jimmy had something come out in the media, it's starting to become an issue to the players amongst this locker room. No doubt about it, bro.
Look at the cries are gonna get louder on Sunday, bro, because we're not winning that game, and we're gonna lose to a really good team, which hurts even more when you lose to really good teams because clearly you're able to grasp on what level you are as far as competition goes, and if you
Right.
get scraped by one of the top teams, bro, even if you make it to the playoffs and have the fortune to make it to the Super Bowl, bro, you're gonna have to play the Bills or the Chiefs.
You're gonna have to play one of these top teams from the other side. One thing that I've been saying, and I'll say it here, the NFC is weak right now, though, and it helped us last season make it to the NFC Championship game because the NFC is so weak. You had a team like the Cowboys that came out of nowhere, and everybody was saying, "Oh, the Cowboys," and yeah, I mean they have a good defense and their quarterback's decent and all that, but the NFC is weak. That team wasn't battle tested. We ran through them. Shit, we owned Green Bay come playoff time. It wasn't hard for us to make the NFC Championship.
No.
And if we can get this shit right, like I've been saying all show, if Kyle can get his head out of his ass and draw this shit up and roll with that list of plays that he knows works, and we can trickle off some wins, I don't doubt that this 49er team could run the table again, bro. We're built for that.
Yeah.
If he doesn't lose the locker room. If he don't lose these dudes, bro.
It looks like we're getting close to that.
And I pray to God it's not that. You know what I mean? I hope he ain't losing the locker room. He loses the locker room, we're gonna be in trouble. We're gonna be in trouble. So.
It's a wrap. You got anything else to say, man? That was the last topic of the
show. Nothing else really to say, but to the faithful out there, man, we're gonna do better. Like I said, we had my boy was sick. Last week was crazy for me. I've been planning this trip. I'm going to Cancun next week. I got all type of shit going on. Okay. We weren't able to even link our times last week to get a show up. It ended up getting so late in the week that we both just said, fuck it, we'll just jump on and give you guys this show. I will be taking my laptop with me, though. I will be eligible out there to do a show after the game before we come back. So if not Monday when I come back, we'll give the show up for the next week for sure. I'm supporting the 49ers. Also got my breast cancer awareness hat with the pink underneath. For y'all that don't know, it's breast cancer awareness month, so I had to throw that one on for y'all. And that's it, man. That's the show. Anything else you want to give them?
Nah, man. Let's get the dub on Sunday, but I don't think we are.
Yeah, I'm not taking the Niners to win. I don't want to even do a score or anything like that. The offense is not looking good. The defense is hurt, and it couldn't happen at a worse time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, for y'all, this is another one in the books from the Beta LA 49er podcast. Your boy LeBron, my boy Primo. Hey, like, comment, subscribe. Come on, man. Enjoy the ride. Let's get it cracking.
Let's do it.
You know we're trying to make it happen.
Yes,
and that's it, man. That's another one in the books, y'all. Peace.